Hallelujah. Oh.
Amadragus.
Well, that is a lot of
Adrian, the game started
to put on yourself. Crim's here gonna have to deal with a mosquito drone, and will just about get out of the way, but takes fall damage in the process. Cams will check back to try and see if he can fight this. Both players lacking information on each other right now. Crims is making all the noise. Cams has a spot in there. That's the card timing at its absolute finest as both players go their separate ways.
Yeah, Crims is on the reset, but you got to keep in mind that Cams isn't dealing with a whole bag of tricks here, so he's going to keep looting. Still without an extra plate, so any battle could be a punishing one for Cams, and I think he's really respecting the fact that he is not in fighting form. And here's Crims right back in the action, and Cams, yeah, he's out of it. It's like, I don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah, what you said there about the play is very important because Cams now has to back off. He has no choice. Meanwhile, Crims had 18 plates in the back pocket, so he can keep on coming. I just like this play from Crims to hit the buy station for me. You're finding yourself a couple of plates and
Chris,
trying to reset the situation. Well, Bbreadman, he's back on his tower.
I mean, if there could have been some sort of like a bet the house that Bbreadman is going to be playing from high ground, I would have put all the real estate I own, which is not much, on that. So really smart stuff from Bbreadman, just casual, just trying to keep the scope hot here.
Looking out over the top of headquarters. JTech's going to take a lot of bullets, and I think that's actually from Skullface, unless there's a player in the tower there just over the top of him. Smoke will provide coverage. He is low on plates and needs to make the next gunfight or two work. We'll have company from player 9, you can see on your mini-map, but now just staying up. It's actually Shifty, another player that, you know, you put it on paper, you put a vote up on Twitter maybe, 1v1, who's winning that? But right now, you just can't back Shifty without his afternoon.
Dog killed Limax.
Dog finds Limax inside of prison, and we're still only missing one player. It feels like through the afternoon, these games have slowed down, Jeff.
I agree. When we first got on through Game 4, there were 5 team wipes in the first circle, and then all of a sudden, everyone who had not died lasted until we had no more respawns remaining. So yeah, it definitely feels like there's been a little bit of a figuring out period, and especially now that they're in their last 4th and final drops for all these players of, okay, no reason to get too greedy early if things aren't going my way. Take your time, loot, find yourself a corner to work on, and then eventually maybe catch someone on rotation, which is essentially what Shifty has done here, just kind of continuing to play around Night. That will confirm the elimination for his first so far in this final drop.
AJ makes noise and baits with it, and will actually find a lot of damage onto Zix. And he's trying to just cut off the rotation, and that is fantastic stuff. That is the AJ that we've been talking about coming into this tournament.
AJ's
puts
twisted.
himself onto 4 kills and has complete control over this region. But the problem is for him, next circle will squeeze him uphill, and we know that Shifty is just looking at the bottom.
And he wants this badly. That will play. Okay, just a little hip fire through the door.
What a nasty hip fire.
Telling you, some of the environment in any COD, it just feels like it's made out of paper mache. Smith in a little bit of trouble here. Whoa, Rizzy! Yeah, okay. Patsuka nearly threw that one away. Was just the sneeze away from falling, but able to lock in the shots, find the kill,
won that,
and
to be honest.
A little bit of breathing room. Intex nearby seems to think that he may be able to come up, and we haven't said his name once yet, so this would be maybe a chance for him to start popping off a little bit.
He hasn't done much. Patsuka here suspects there are players arriving and finds a portable radar. That could be huge. That'll provide him with the information that he needs. And there's a fight going on here on the very outskirts of the map. Rodrigo up against Believe. Rodrigo's forced to back on off, but Believe going to use that as a moment to pop out of smoke and allow himself to rotate on off from the beach. And Rodrigo's lost Believe completely here. Who spots who first? Who gets the information? And it will be Believe with a huge pick there. He was basically back against the wall, sat down there on the edge of the map. Should have well and truly been picked off by Rodrigo, but counters that beautifully.
Patsuka, again, continuing to find ways in this stage
on his
3 circles to find these kills.
Smith
came right
back.
The proper time to jump on in and confirm. Important to note, Smith's on 2 kills. After we got through 5 total drops, Smith finds himself 3 in total, down from Vision in terms of total kills. So 1 more he'll tie, 2 more he will surpass as our current kill leader.
Which will be a hell of a
Who was in first place? They just said it. Vision's team, and then it's
it felt like he got off to a great start, especially on Urzikstan, and then unfortunately had a bout of illness, and it just never seemed to bounce back from there. And well, what it would be to come out here day 1 of the Esports World Cup as the overall kill leader.
And I think the thing about it too is, you know, again, him playing alongside Aydan, they're not playing with their normal third, where they had a really good time at the World Series of Warzone and a finals, top 5. nothing to scoff at whatsoever. But yeah, being able to really kind of establish that on here for real could be massive for him. Smith getting to work, just laying things down. Not quite able to find the final shots needed, but it's fine. Holger's got plenty of ammo.
Just get a little wider look here at our map. View feels
what
like
am I looking at here, Swag? This is the Esports World Cup Warzone tournament, the $1 million one that's in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Today is solo seeding, so basically it's all solo matches, and every player gets points for their team, and whatever points they end up with today, it kind of puts them in groups. And then the next 2 days are group stages, and then Saturday's the final where it's 14 teams queue in, and whoever finishes the best wins the whole thing. The invites to this tournament was all based off of last year's World Series of Warzone. I'm pretty sure, like, if you finished top 20 in last year's, your captain spot got an invite. So it's kind of unfair because this is the only game. Warzone's the only game in all of Esports World Cup that didn't have a qualifier, so we couldn't qualify for it. Sage was a world champion and didn't get an invite, so it's kind of unfortunate. I think a little bit unfair, but it is what it is.
Around him, underneath him, all over the place.
Yeah, and it's an important couple of gunfights here as well.
Not really too salty about it.
The circle's going to squeeze you and force you to rotate, so you want to make sure you're clearing this area.
I was salty for a while, but whatever.
Actually fine. Bagel gets a lot of damage and a crack, but doesn't finish it off. Will actually get cracked himself. Uses the stint to give himself that extra movement speed. He's up against Lennon, his teammate on teammate. It's Alula against Alula, and Lennon comes out on top. What do you do, though? You've got more company coming on through this backside. It's actually going to be Bagel around the corner, Raul as well, and the young man from the UK looking to lock in a couple of kills.
Yeah, Lennon's in a really good spot to try to finish this thing off. Smoke will be a bit of a deterrent. Bagel's just holding a corner. He's just playing pure COD timing. If someone crosses,
Shauna, thank you for the 33.
The right way at the right time. That is all that is. As we head over in towards the actual cell area of the prison block, Smith still on 2, looking to, again, get 3 to tie Visions overall, or 4 to possibly take the overall kill spot leader.
Just breach and clearing. The one thing about this prison region, right? So many different places you can get shot from, especially here in solos. Trying to just press on through here as we get this wide shot. See, there's so many players. Yeah. Zix takes damage. Plates will go in. But how does he get escape from here? He sees Believe below. I don't think Believe actually spots him, so that gives him an opportunity to escape. Does anyone actually chase after him here? The answer is no, but what he does find is some very valuable loot.
This is massive for him. He's got separation, he's got space, and now he is in absolutely prime form to get to the high ground. He could play on top of the rooftop if he wants to with all the loot he just kitted himself out with. So, could be an option for him as we start to close out this third circle. Believe working his way forward. Patsuka taken down as well in the same process as everyone's really trying to get to that top 30, which we do crack into. So again, that first multiplier step up now in play.
Smith here doing great work. He sets the C4 and he actually connects with it, but it's not going to do enough damage. It was a genius play, bit 200 IQ. Unfortunately, he just takes too much damage on the first peak from Zix, who then manages to chase on after and clean things up. But honestly, nearly a 2000 IQ from Smith, and showing why he is pushing for kill lead here.
And I think Smith just died a second and a half before respawns closed, so the timing, I was about to say, could have been ideal, but Prodigy does snipe him out of the sky. At least that would be the assumption with him dropping. So that's what, 3 kills. So he finds himself tied with Vision.
Bbreadman is still on top water tower. This is wicked work.
Depend on what happens with the overall.
And he sniped shifty. Wow.
Well, we head back to Bbreadman. I feel like you could play like the girl from Ipanema right here. Just casual elevator music. Bbreadman getting to work on the sniper rifle.
I feel like that's exactly how he is most of the time. Just calm, casual, collected, doing his thing. Doesn't really care about what's going on the map. He knows that he's good enough to do damage regardless. And actually spots Zep across, but doesn't have any timing there. Launches out a C4 to potentially pick up someone below. We're going to get a shot here of King AJ, who has to make a hellish rotation. And he's going to come up against Abwiz potentially here. And actually checks on off towards the right. But anytime you push uphill towards this prison, you are asking for trouble.
Yeah, and he just uses the smoke to say, I know someone's near that. I'm not going to bother. And now he actually, I think, hears the footsteps and confirms that he's been able to find Abwiz. Clean shots from King AJ. That gives him now 6 total kills, plus a little bit of breathing room as he finds himself into the next circle.
I think one of the scary things here, especially if you are a guild fan, and as he checks away, that was a bit more scary. We'll come back to it, see if he survives. Well, what I was going to say is that
got off the tower.
He's actually lifting his average every single game.
Yes.
And again, the player that we spoke about, how good he can be, if he keeps on doing that, and he looks hot going into tomorrow's tournament.
The other part about this is, if I'm not mistaken, Twisted Minds have no more members on the field. And looking at the total scoreboard, Twisted Minds are at 108, Guild are at 95.9. So they have a huge opportunity here with the multiplier possibly getting into the top 5 to where they may actually take the #1 overall seed after all this is said and done.
Yeah, and what a statement that would be. I mean, we've harped on enough about the whole Falcons aren't performing conversation, but that opens up a window for everyone else. Speaking of which, we are down to our last 8.
Eight
so
players
closing here on 5th. Brolic trying to find AJ, who cooks a nade, tries to use it to cover his escape. And oh, if Brolic had hit that, that would have been something, but the Moors does not connect. AJ will escape. Guild continue to push for that top spot.
And this is a great position for Brolic to freely get into the next circle. So now this is about what can he find around the outsides before he has to give up the last remaining high ground
Biff's still up.
onto this circle. AJ back up and over. Dealt with by the Binds for just a moment, but largely unaffected.
That boy
Stukic
Biffle
just
still up.
low. Smoke trying to get him on the way in the circle, and AJ is just going to try to hold it.
Yeah, I think this is the perfect play. You're essentially covered by the smoke that Stukic puts out as well. The problem is because Stukic's been patient here, AJ has lost him entirely, but will step up, will spot him, and will actually take more damage as well. So he's got to confirm, and then he's got to get himself this in. No ticks left in the gas mask, so no opportunity to run out there, even though the zone pull will be towards him. Oh my god, AJ! What did you just do? I think there was actually damage in the back of Joe from Biffle as well, but the fact that he's still alive is a miracle, and hits the snipe as well.
Oh my
Brolic then cleans that on up. We're down to our final 4. AJ here looking to cement top spot for Guild Esports.
He needs to make a decision, though. The circle's going to rotate down, but you're going to give up high ground because of it, and he rotates right into Biffle, who's waiting for him.
Biff.
Now all of a sudden, 8 kills for Biffle. A chance for him to possibly breathe a little bit of life into Team Falcons here late. Brolic also on the low ground with him. 3v3. Thermite's out. Opening shots. Gets the tag and the break. The clean follow-up. Now it's just down to Bbreadman again from the high ground. Can Biffle reset this long enough? No, he cannot. And Bbreadman, who saw victory slip through his fingers in one of the most remaining games, closes it out here.
Wow.
And that's got to be confidence boosted to finish in the top 3 2 straight maps in a row.
Absolutely. I think there's a couple of confidence boosts that come